Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's do a complete beginner's guide to desktop dungeons. Rewind, shall we? This is a remake of a fantastic older roguelike, or roguelite, I guess I should say, that I always enjoyed playing, in the browser many years ago. And they've redone the game with some twists on the original design and a complete graphical overhaul. It's got a great sense of humor. It's really difficult. It's more a puzzle game and an RPG roguelike than a traditional roguelike. It's kind of a logic puzzle similar to, a math puzzle or chess in some ways because of the lack of variance in many aspects of the game, and yet the randomization of the levels and the unique endless amounts of puzzles that are provided make this just a fun experience. But there's a lot going on behind the charming and humorous aesthetic of the graphics that we'll see in a moment. So what I'd like to do here in this guide is start a completely new kingdom from the ground up so you can play along or just watch and see if this is the kind of game that you might be interested in. It just came out. There's a lot to it. I'm really impressed with how much value and depth there is in the game. But to get good at it and to not, want to put your foot through your monitor, you need to understand the basics. And let's talk about those. So I'm going to say change kingdom, because this kingdom Incompetentia that's selected is what I've been playing on stream. It is my Let's Play kingdom, and if you'd like to check that out and see me boot this up for the first time and play through stuff, there is a link in the description below to the Let's Play. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new kingdom, and I'm going to call it the Incompetent Tutorial, and I'm going to say create new. The story begins. Creatures attacked in the night. The caravan was unprepared. Travelers had been warned about the unexplored realms, but pride often plays tricks on reason. Fight back. Flames and death engulfed the defenders, nomads, exiles, and vagabonds with only a handful of real fighters among them. Escape. Injured, ill-trained, and separated from one another, many of the survivors had no choice but to press on into a nearby network of maze-like caverns. Watch your step. And we've dropped in to the network of maze-like caverns. And after the fun cinematics, this screen is what you're going to be spending your time looking at in Desktop Dungeons, which is the dungeon itself. So let's talk a bit about this screen before we move on with explaining how to fight and such. So you can see my character right here on the game world, and the tile that I'm standing on is, selected with these kind of 4 white corners. Now, the 2 tiles that it wants me to go to are above and below my character that are rimmed with blue flames and have giant blue arrows pointing to them to show me where they want me to go. Now, I can use the mouse wheel to scroll out of the dungeon, and I can even scroll up so far that I get like a strict top-down view if you want to play it totally zoomed out. This view actually looks more like what the original game did to a degree. And what you'll see on this view is that this floor of the dungeon is actually not that large. You can see the grid, and all floors are made up of these tiles. These square tiles comprise a grid, but they're not all the same size in terms of the grid themselves, depending on what floor you're on. Now I'm using the mouse wheel to kind of zoom back in, and you can get like ultra close or this isometric semi-zoomed out view, whatever you like. In the upper left corner of the heads-up display or HUD, you'll see that there is a hilarious portrait of my guard. I'm injured. I've I looks like I'm crying a little bit because I'm terrified. And my name is Helen Connor. I'm a human guard. You could see that on the top of the heads-up display, there's a red heart with a bar that is nearly empty because I have 1 out of 10 hit points. That's my health right there. The bar below that is my mana, the blue kind of magical symbol with the blue bar that says 10 out of 10. I have full magic points. The bar below that with the green star that has a number 1 indicates what experience level my character is. And the empty bar next to that that says 0 out of 5 represents how much experience points I have and how many I need to level up. So I have 0, but if I got 5, I'd go to level 2. Below that, you'll see an orange sword with a number 5 next to it, and that's telling me how much damage I do in combat to an enemy with my sword. Or just with melee combat, I guess I should say. I don't really have a specified weapon at the moment. Now, this is important because, as I said before, in many roguelikes, and in fact most RPGs, your character is going to do a variable amount of damage, a range. Like, I'm going to do 4 to 6 damage or something like that. But I'm actually going to do 5 damage. And the game will tell you exactly how much damage you are going to do. And that's why I said it's more like a puzzly math chess kind of game where you are going to be calculating very precisely how much damage you can do. And there is no range or variance like you would do in Slay the Spire. You're going to crunch those numbers, okay? And this is great because there's no real surprise in this sense. Most of the time, unless listed otherwise, you will do that full damage unless the enemy has some kind of mitigation, some resistance, which we'll see. And most of the time, you will hit your enemy every hit unless there is something else modifying that. And right here, this shows us how many coins we have, and these little hands we'll talk about in a moment. Human is the kin that we are. In this game, you can be different kins that you will unlock as you play. Humans, dwarves, elves, halflings, so on. Traditional fantasy tropes. And then guard is the class that we are, and you will also unlock new classes. Wizards, priests, rogues, warriors, berserkers, and so on. So right now we don't really have much of a choice. We're just right here in the dungeon itself, okay? And we are a human guard. Now let's talk about the lower left of the heads-up display. You will see that I have a purple orb. It says 0 out of 100 in the lower left, and that is my conversion orb. When you get items in this game, spells, even weapons, consumables, you can convert them if you wish, and they have a certain value of conversion points, and every 100 conversion points I get a 10% bonus to my attack damage. That's the human racial or kin bonus, I guess I should say. We'll talk more about that when it comes up. I'm just displaying everything that you see on the screen in front of you. And then there's also a backpack icon that says 0 out of 30. And this tells you how much you can hold in your backpack. Every item, not only does it have a conversion value, it also has a weight or an encumbrance value. And I can only carry up to 30 with this character. Anything else, I can't pick it up anymore. But I can convert it from the ground. Many items will also, too, have a monetary value, meaning like how much money I get if I escape from the dungeon with them in my inventory. Now, there's also a button here that you can click to just completely zoom out, and then there's a button here you can click to center on the player, and then there's a zoom in and out that you can just use with clicking the UI over here in the lower left. Or you can use the plus and the minus keys on the keyboard to zoom out a little bit if you want. All right, I'm going to just use my wheel and get back in. Now let's talk about moving our character. So they want us to go, to the north or to the south. Now we can move in this game by left-clicking on the tile that we want to go, or by using the arrow keys on the numpad. I like to click myself with the mouse, but your mileage may vary. Now, notice how if I click to go onto this tile, something is going to display on my HUD in the upper left corner, or the UI, if you would like to call it that. And that is that my health is going to go up to 4. Now, the reason my health goes up to 4 is that when you explore unexplored tiles in this game, you heal both mana and health based on how many tiles you uncover. So you see all of these kind of like black tiles that are like shrouded in cosmic mystery around us. These are tiles that I don't know what's there because all I can see is what's around me. So if I step here by left clicking on this tile, you'll see that 3 orbs went up to my health, and my health is now 4, as is reflected by the bar up at the top showing me the future of what will happen. If I mouse over this tile, for example, it's going to tell me that I'll go to 7 health if I go up here. Now, obviously, these tiles are walls. I can't walk through them. And this is a goblin, okay, right down here that is waiting to fight me. Now, it may have alarmed you, if you're a traditional roguelike player, that I stepped into this adjacent tile to an enemy with such low health. Well, again, Desktop Dungeons is very much like traditional roguelikes, but also has its own quirks. And one of the quirks is that enemies in this game, unless anything says otherwise, they will not attack you unless you attack them. So even if I'm adjacent to this guy, move right next to him, he's not going to attack me. Most of the time, okay, unless there's something special going on that I don't know about in the game, enemies do not move. They sit on their tile, which again lends itself to the kind of strategic planning. I know that forever, this level 1 goblin dude is going to be standing right here, okay? So let's talk about him for a moment. Now, the game, obviously, in terms of the tutorial, wants me to go up here, but let's just talk about this goblin. This goblin is level 1. I know that because on the map, there's a big green 1 in the lower right of the tile that he's in. Now, if I mouse over the tile that the guy is in, the goblin, I get information in the heads-up display in the upper right about the enemy itself. Now, if I move away from this, it will go away, but I can actually right-click on this dude to lock the information in place, and you'll see that there are these kind of like diagonal arrows pulsating around the square to indicate that I am now targeting this guy. Now, what this allows me to do is get more information about the goblin and explore his traits and abilities. So, first of all, he has 10 health, just like me. He's level 1, and you could see his sword means he'll do 2 damage every time he attacks us. So, typically in this game, you attack the enemy, and the enemy will attack you back. And the order that that happens depends on many things, and it's not always clear who gets to attack first, okay? There is an attack ordering calculus that's run, but in this case, this enemy will attack us first because, as you can see on the right in his heads-up display, he has first strike. So underneath where it says Goblin and his portrait and the attack button, there are a list of properties that this particular monster has, and first strike is one of them. And if I mouse over this, it says all attacks are awarded first strike. So what this means is if I hit this dude, he's going to hit me for 2 damage, and then I'm going to hit him for 5, which is my attack damage. Now, if I mouse over attack, okay, notice what happens to our health bars. This game does a great job of allowing you to see what the future turn will unfold like by giving you a preview based on what action you may select. So what I mean is, like, if I mouse over this attack, you'll notice that my health bar, these yellow lines appear and a shaded chunk of my health come out. And the same thing is happening on his health bar. And there are these yellow lines underneath our health bar that indicate how many rounds this will take for this effect to happen. So you can plan out a combat in segments. So right now, if I were to attack this goblin, okay, you can see that in round 1, I would do 5 damage. I'd take him to 5, but he would do 2 damage to me first, taking me to 2 out of 4. And then if I attacked him again, he would do 2 damage to me and kill me, and I wouldn't be able to finish him off. Now, it could be a viable strategy to just attack this guy for 5, let him hit us for 2, and then go around and explore to heal our character and then come back and try to finish the job. But let me explain to you why that's not a viable strategy. It's not because the exploration healing goes both ways. You benefit from it, and so do the enemies. So, like, the enemies will also heal health when I uncover health or from new tiles. So you don't really want to, like, leave them at less than max health unless it's an emergency or you have some master plan. So instead of fighting them now, let's go ahead and walk around, as the game is suggesting, to get some more health. So I'm just going to left click on that tile, and this guy is still targeted, okay? But I can right click away anywhere to untarget him. Now you'll see that I'm indeed in a dead end, but I have healed up to 7. And if I go back down to this guy, the game wants us to fight him. Now we know that we can beat this dude because he'll hit us twice for 4 damage and take us from 7 to 3, but we'll hit him twice for 5 damage each strike and kill him. So we can get through this guy. So I'll left click on him to attack. Now you can just left click on him to attack, or if you have him right clicked and targeted, then you can't left click to attack because he's targeted, and you have to left click up here where it says the attack button to attack. So if you're ever wondering why you can't attack, it's because you probably have something targeted. And you can just right click somewhere else to get rid of that, and then left click to attack. Boom. I hit him, he hit us. Okay? Now when I mouse over him, look what happens. The game is going to tell me that I'll go to 3 health, but he'll have a big, you see he has a big skull over his picture. That means he's going to die. You know what? I just realized that I misspoke earlier, and let me correct my mistake. You cannot walk around and fight using the numpad keys. I, for some reason, thought you could. I always play the game with the mouse, but I thought that was in the game. It's not. You need to just use the mouse to move around. So I apologize. So just left click on this dude and do it this way. All right. So now you see we healed up a little bit, and if we move to this tile, we're going to actually heal for 4, okay? And that is because we uncovered so many tiles that we got 4 health. Depending on how many tiles you uncover, you heal for that amount. So I'm just going to keep left clicking and walking around. Now, you see that there's an enemy right here. There's like a monster mask and a level 1. The fighter type character, the guard or the warrior, has the ability to sense enemies a little bit further away, and everybody might have the ability to sense them if they're right on the edge of the field of vision, but we know that there's going to be a monster there. So if I step over here, we can see that there's a goblin here. Now, what I want to do, and what you always want to do in desktop dungeons, is fight a monster if you're at full health and try to leave tiles unexplored so that you can then heal up afterward. Now, this isn't always the best strategy because, as we'll see, there's actually benefits to exploring before fighting, which are finding power-ups for your character. So one of the cool things about desktop dungeons is it's always this running decision that you have in your mind of, do I want to save tiles for exploration purposes so that I can heal up, or do I want to actually use some of those tiles, even though I'm at full health, full mana, and try to find some power-ups to make me stronger? This is just part of the strategy and part of the fun. And this is where some randomness that you'll get in a roguelike comes into play, because I honestly don't know what's over here. I don't know where the power-ups are. So I'm taking a risk by saying, well, I'm going to forfeit some guaranteed healing to look for a benefit that might actually give me an edge right now. Now, regardless, I'm just going to fight this guy, and we're going to knock him down. Now, you'll see that when we kill this level 1 enemy, each one is giving us 1 experience. So our experience bar is now 2 out of 5. So if we could fight, 3 more of these level 1 dudes, we will level up and be really happy about it. So let's just walk over here and walk over here. Now this guy is level 2. You can mouse over this dude all you want, but you'll notice immediately if I look at him in the upper right, he has actually 15 health. He's level 2, and he does 8 damage per attack with first strike because he's a goblin. So this guy's going to kill us in 2 turns, and we're not even going to get close to killing him. So let's not fight him. We get to choose our battles in Desktop Dungeons. We go and fight the monsters that we can take. Alright, so let's go ahead and just take this dude down. Alright, and explore. And here is another level 1 guy down here. Now, this is a meat man. He is different than the goblin, okay? If I look at him, he actually has no special abilities, no properties. He's just a big wall of flesh. That's definitely not Super Meat Boy. And he does 1 damage. He does almost no damage. His thing is he has like more hit points than your average goblin at level 1, but in many ways, you know, he's actually easier. We end up beating him taking 1 less damage. All right, so we need another guy to fight. Now you can, okay, use WASD to move the camera around like this, all right? So that's another thing you can do if you want to play with your left hand on WASD, well, depending on if you're right-handed with your mouse like I am. Now, I'm going to click over here, and there's a level 2 enemy over there, but we need a level 1 enemy. Any level 1, here we go. So now, you can see when I mouse over this guy as well, it does show you how much experience you will get from killing it. And this becomes really important later on. Not so much in the tutorial right now, but later. So if I look at this zombie, okay, you'll see that I'll get 1 experience, and I will go from 4 to 5, and that'll level us up if I'm looking at my green experience bar in the upper left. This becomes important because you actually get bonuses for fighting enemies that are above your level. Like if I were to fight this guy, for example, if I mouse over this level 2, I would actually get 8 experience, it looks like, if I beat this guy. Or, I'm sorry, I think I'm... Yeah, no, I wouldn't get 8 experience. I would go to 8 experience. I would gain 4 experience. Excuse me, I misspoke. So, you get a bonus for fighting a higher level guy. So this guy would actually take me to 8 experience, which would level me up for the 5 that I need from first level, and then put me at 3 experience toward the progress to the next level. So that's really great. However, I can't beat this guy with what I currently have, even though it would be nice. Now I'll right click on this zombie, and you'll mouse over, and he's undead. Okay, these are his properties. So he can't be poisoned physically, and he is bloodless, which means he will not leave a blood pool. Now that doesn't matter to us right now that much, but we'll fight him anyway. He does 3 damage, so he's actually a little bit formidable, but boom, we level up. You'll see that green, you know, cyclone above our character to show that we have leveled up. And what does that mean for us? Okay, so we leveled up, meaning we double our health. We went from 10 to 20, and we double our base damage. So now we're doing 10 damage a turn and have 20 health. So let's go over and visit this goblin. Now you'll notice I'm taking a path to kind of keep as many tiles as I can unexplored so that I can save those for later to heal. Now if I go over this guy and mouse over him, you'll see that now, yeah, he does 8 damage to me, but he only has 15 health. So I'll kill him in 2 turns, and he'll take us down to 4 health in 2 turns. He gets first strike, so he's going to hit us for that 16 before we kill him, but we will get 2 experience for beating him. Now you'll see we're level 2. We need 10 experience to level up. So I will hit this guy, and here we go, and I will hit him again, and boom, we level up. And they want us to go over here. Power-ups. So let's look at these different power-ups. Now, if I mouse over these power-ups, you can see what they do, because in the upper left of the heads-up display, they preview the benefit you'd gain from walking into that tile. So, for example, this sword will give me 1 more base damage because it's going to give me a 10% bonus. This will give me 2 to our max health, and this will give us 1 extra to our max mana. So let's get them all. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. All right. And let's see here. There's a level 2 over here, so let's work our way that way. Oh, look what we found. Let's step on this tile. And this is Burn Deraz. And the spells in this have hilarious names that they sound magical, but they're really, have a more silly meaning. I'll let you interpret what Burn Deraz means. And it's a fireball, basically. Now, if you look at this in the upper right, it says it burns your enemies for 4 points of magical damage per character level, slowing their regeneration. So it does all of this. So 4 points per character level, that means this does 8 damage. The backpack shows 5, meaning this will take up 5 of my 30 weight, okay, that I can carry. And each casting of Burn Deraz will take 6 mana, all right? And I have 11, so I can cast this once before I need to regenerate mana. Mana regenerates the same way that health does when you uncover new tiles. And the purple number 100 there is the conversion value. I could convert this to give myself an extra 10% damage, but we don't want that yet. We want to pick this up. Now you can pick it up by clicking pick up or just clicking the space bar on your keyboard. And let's walk over here. Now, if the game wants us to use magic, because if I mouse over this goo blob, all right, let me right click on him. You can see he's level 2, he's got 9 health, he does 8 damage, but he also has physical resist 90%. So that means if I attack him, right, I'm only going to do 90% of my total attack damage. Now, luckily, the game prediction screen does factor that in. So you could see I will take him down 2 health each time. So I can't kill that guy with this, but instead, I could just fireball this dude. So I can fireball him by either clicking on our spell and then clicking on him, or because I had him targeted, I just pushed number 1 on my keyboard to use my fireball. I'm going to right click away from this dude. Now you can see that this guy can now be killed. Now let's talk about this. First of all, yeah, you can just click on this and then it will start glowing and you can then target. I'll show you that in a moment. Or you can just use the number keys corresponding to anything that's usable that you have in your inventory. Now, the beautiful thing about Fireball is that it goes first. The enemies, for the most part, don't get to retaliate unless they have a special ability called Fireball Retaliation or something like that. And in this case, this guy didn't have that. So we blasted him, and he's about to die. Let's right-click on him. He's also burning. So burning says he takes additional magic damage when attacked. So if we attack this dude, all right, we'll kill him, but we do additional damage on top. So let's hit him. Now, he hit us first. So in the order of attack right there, he still got to go before us, which is a shame. Now, we want to kill this guy, but we can't until we can cast our spell. So we need to get some mana back. So let's just go down here and explore. You can see I have 8 out of 11. And if I actually go down here, I can just get it all back like that. Now, let's come up to this guy and I'll show you. If you left-click on this, you'll see now my mouse cursor turns into like a fireball, and I can then just mouse over this guy. And when I mouse over him with fireball, it shows you how much damage it's going to do to this dude and the burning effect that it will apply. Typically, things that are new will be in yellow text, all right? So I blast him, we take him down, and now we just left-click to hit him, and he's gone. You can see we're getting a bunch of experience. Usually things give you the amount of experience that their level is, unless you have some modifiers. So there's a question mark up here, so let's go see what that is. And it's a mana potion. So a mana potion is a consumable, and it's guaranteed to restore 40% of your total mana. It's also guaranteed to taste awful, which is funny. Now, this takes up 1 backpack space, but the cool thing about potions are that they stack. So it does take up 1 backpack, but you can stack up potions and it doesn't take up additional backpack. They kind of stack together, just all taking up 1. It's worth 10 money, and it has a conversion value of 10. It also removes the effect of being mana burned if that's happening to you. I'm just going to push spacebar to pick that up. Now, it's worth noting this is not a full restore. It's only 40%. All right. And I'm just going to move up here, and we see that there's a level 2 dude. And it's our good buddy, the Goo Blob. So I'm just going to push 1, fireball him, and then kill him. And we're almost up a level. I'll go over here to restore my health and my mana. And here we go. Here's a goblin. Now, we could fight this guy and just kill him without using Burn Duraz. But the cool thing about leveling up is that it fully restores your health and mana. So there's no reason not to pull out all the stops on this guy. So I'll fireball him first, and then now we can kill him in 1 turn. This is the advantage of using fireball, is that you soften them up so that they just don't do as much damage to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and then trade. And notice that we level up and we improve our max HP and our base damage. Typically, the warrior gets 5 base damage every level. Actually, I think most of the classes do, but this one definitely does. And then we are getting, 10 health per level. Plus, looks like we're getting some kind of 10% bonus to our health there, or we just got 13 extra. Either way, very good. Now, notice that you do not get extra mana when you level up, all right? Oh, what's this? Well, it's a Pendant of Mana. This item glows slightly blue when worn, offering a bonus of 2 maximum mana. So this is going to actually take us from 11. I'll pick it up with the spacebar. You'll see it takes 5 weight. It's worth 13 money, and it's 35 conversion. If I pick this up, I have 2 mana. It doesn't fill you up. It just raises your ceiling. But now we're at 11 out of 13. And you can see we're also at 11 weight out of 30 in our backpack, but that's not a huge concern. Now, 2 mana might not seem like a lot, but it's a major deal because this allows us to cast Fireball twice because it costs 6. So if we go up to this guy right here, this guy is level 4. And even if we were to cast Fireball on this dude twice, he does 18 damage. So Fireball now does 12 damage because we're 3rd level. It's 4 per level. So we could do 24 damage to this guy, right? Take him down from 58 to 34, okay? And then he's at 34, and then we're doing 16 damage. Then we can hit him once, but then if he hits us again, we die because we can't even take 2 hits from this guy. So the game is telling us to go up here to skip this guy. And this is what you got to do a lot. Remember, they don't attack you when you're adjacent, and they don't even attack you when you move through squares that they're threatening. No problem. Let's just skip this dude and come back to him later. Fireball that guy, and now we kill the Goo Blob in 1 shot because it scales with our level. And we go down here and we found a Sensation Stone. This has high conversion value, okay? So it doesn't do anything except it's worth 20 money if we want to take it out for cash, but we can convert it for 150. So I'm going to pick this up, and why would you want to convert it? It's telling you, drag this over here, okay? So all you have to do to convert something is to left-click it on your inventory bar in the bottom center of your heads-up display, and then just drag it with left-click over to the conversion circle. When you mouse over it, it'll tell you how many points it'll give us. This will give us 150. So this will give us 10% more attack damage. You can see that reflected on our heads-up display in the upper left. When I kind of mouse this over, we're going to go up to 18 damage per turn. And the 50 conversion points on top are not lost. They stay in the bar. You can see that. Now we're at 50 out of 100, and we're doing more damage. So we can come down here. Now, this guy, if we kill him, he's going to give us a bunch of extra experience. He gives us actually 6 experience because we're level 3 and he's level 4. So he's 1 level higher than us, so we get a bonus. I believe that you get 50% extra experience for each level that the enemy is above you or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's some kind of bonus. Luckily, you don't really have to run that calculus too much because you can just mouse over it to see how much you'll get. And we can actually beat this dude. We can't beat him fighting, but you'll see that this warlock, I'll right-click on him. He has a magical attack, which means he does magical damage if that's important to us. But what's cool is he doesn't have that many health. So if I actually just fireball him once, twice, okay, now you can see that we get him so low that we can attack him and kill him, and he'll do a ton of damage to us, but he won't kill us. So we want to do that to get the extra experience. I'm going to walk over here, and now we can just kind of heal up and just celebrate. I mean, I'm celebrating. And let's see, we need 7 experience to level up. So I'm just going to look around on the map. This guy we still can't kill. So these 3 dudes won't level us up. So I need something, yes, here we go, something else. And this guy, all right, we can definitely fight. So we'll just burn him, and then we can kill him here. Now we just need 4. I'll just fill myself up. And these guys who are level 2, they should be, you know, absolutely no problem. I'm going to burn this guy. And if you'll notice when I'm mousing over to attack right now, because this guy is burning, well, it doesn't really affect him. We do 18 and he has 18, so it's a clean kill. But you'll see how my health bar has no yellow scores on it. That's because this guy's not going to hit us back. This dude is going after us. And so if the game will allow you to know if the enemy will attack before you in a case like this, because I'm not going to actually take any damage. So this is a great thing to pay attention to see where it's like the super easy kill, where you can just take it down without any reprisal. Like this guy, again, if I fireball him, he goes behind me. And I level up. Now I'm 4th level. Now, I need 20 experience to level up. And I could come over here and fight this dude. Knock him around. But I'm actually going to go over here and just see if I can uncover any more enemies. I find a lot of level 3 things. That's not great, but let's just look how much experience is on the screen. 3, 6, 9, 11, 15. That's not enough to level me up. I need to find some other enemies. Here's a level 3. That's 18. Is there anything up here? I hate to do that because I don't want to lose the opportunity for... Here we go. Experience. And here's a level 5. And it's a goat. Good goat, bleat. And this is what we want to kill to get out of the level. But we need to level up first because this thing is too challenging. So let's go ahead and take down some level 4s. 1 fireball, 2 fireball, and we kill it. But he hits us for a lot. So let's just heal up. And now this guy is a fireball. And you could see again, he will not attack us because we get to attack first. Let me get some mana back. Alright. And this guy, again, we can fireball, hit him. Now, I am not 100% sure if all enemies have the same attack speed. I'm going to walk over here and, ooh, we found a health potion. Pick that up. But sometimes I've seen enemies attack me first and not attack me first at the same level. So there might be some kind of randomization with their attack speed or damage. Even if they're enemies of the same level, but I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's what it feels like, but I might be misremembering. Alright, so I'm going to go over here, and we can fireball this guy, and fireball this guy, and now he will hit us, but we hit him back, and he's dead. Now, we're at 26 out of 44 health. We need 6 experience to level up. So, that's pretty simple for us. I could just walk over here, fireball this guy, kill him. He does no damage to us. Now we're 3 away, and we just take down this guy. And we can beat him without even having mana, and we don't have to worry that he's going to do damage, because this will level us up to completely restore everything. Now the game wants us to fight this guy. I'm going to do that, but here we go. Yeah, I'm going to explore around first. Potions. Okay. So... there's a little bit of extra experience, but not enough to level us up, so there's no reason to fight us. Again, unlike, some other games, getting the experience from them doesn't do anything. Once we clear this level and leave, we're not going to take our level with us. So there's no reason to do that unless they were guarding some treasure or something that we wanted. So let's fight this goat. All right, now this goat has 67 health. He's level 5. And he does 31 damage. So I cannot take 2 hits from this guy. So that's bad. So what I need to do is fireball this guy once, okay, and then twice. And then now I can kill him with my attack, and he will do damage to me, but not kill me. Now, of course, I could just drink mana potions, so I could restore my mana and just throw more fireballs at him to take no damage. But in this game, what you want to try to do is save these consumables, because you can sell them when you leave the dungeon for money for your kingdom. All right, so I'm going to hit him, and he's dead. Let's go over here, and we can pick up this horn. But what is down here? Why is the game telling me, ooh, there's a bunch of money down here? Come down here and pick up all this gold before you leave, okay? So listen to the tutorial. Make sure you walk down here before you clear this and pick up the gold, because once you pick this up, you will leave the dungeon, all right? So now go over here and push spacebar to pick up the goat horn. Oh, no, you don't push spacebar. You just push exit, okay? And it says, congratulations on making it through your first dungeon. In case you're still uncertain about some things, we'd like to offer you the guided tutorials before plunging you into the full game experience. Otherwise, feel free to move on to the more complicated play scenarios straight away. Now, I know the game well, and so I don't personally need to do the basic tutorial, but I think that you should do the basic tutorial, and I'm going to go through it with you to add on some more clarification to the concepts so that all of these points are hammered home and you feel more comfortable once you go into the main game scenarios. So let's go basic tutorial. And it says, hello, welcome to Desktop Dungeons, a randomly generated turn-based puzzle roguelike thing of dungeoneering, heroism, and monster slaying. To get started, click on the sign near your character and read what it has to say. That sign? So, what's funny is the game throws you in on the crash course with no text box explanation, just like click here and then just see if you can figure it out kind of stuff. And then now they give you another tutorial, which this is optional, by the way, as you saw. But this is going to explain things in much greater detail, which I find very valuable. So we'll get into doing this part of the tutorial in the next episode. Everyone, I think this is a good first look at Desktop Dungeons. I've explained the UI, the controls, some basic strategy. We've cleared the first dungeon. Now we're going to do the tutorial dungeon and then move into the roguelike element of the game, which is your kingdom. And in your kingdom, you can start to upgrade your character's possibilities, the choices you make, to make the game more customizable, fun, and to give you an advantage on the harder content. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found this to be helpful. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about Desktop Dungeons, and I'd love to help you out. Take care.